An abandoned, broken fiberglass boat hull rests with a massive hole in its side. A heavily rusted, barnacle-encrusted diesel engine block stands as a monument to neglect. The shoreline, a crusty, forgotten propeller shaft emerges from the gentle waves. The builder drags the heavy, barnacle-covered propeller shaft onto the sandy beach. In his workshop, the completely seized engine awaits a monumental mechanical resurrection. Drives a battered white sedan, hunting for more essential scrap materials. Behind the wheel, the man navigates toward a local scrapyard filled with possibilities. The builder inspects the gutted remains of another car, searching for a steering system. He meticulously unbolts the rusted steering column from the ruined dashboard framework. Using a cutting torch, he severs the stubborn metal joints of the steering shaft. Carrying the salvaged steering wheel, he heads back to his transport vehicle. He tests a salvaged gray leather car seat, imagining it inside his future vessel. The heavy rear seat is loaded into the back of his white sedan. Driving away, he secures another vital component for his ambitious maritime project. A high-pressure washer blasts away years of hardened sea life from the engine block. The intense water jet reveals the true extent of the engine's severe corrosion. With a wrench, he begins the arduous task of unbolting the seized components. He removes a rusted cover, exposing the dried, solid sludge packed inside the engine. Using a spoon, he scrapes out the thick, hardened grease from the timing case. The delicate, barnacle-covered fuel injection lines are carefully unfastened and removed. A socket wrench is used to break free the stubborn bolts holding the cylinder head. He lifts the heavy cylinder head, revealing the flooded combustion chambers beneath. The workbench is now covered in a chaotic pile of disassembled, rusted engine parts. Using a chain hoist, he extracts the heavy cast iron block for further cleaning. Heavy blows from a mallet are needed to dislodge the stubbornly stuck flywheel. With the flywheel removed, he prepares to extract the worn internal rotating assembly. Pushes out the pistons, inspecting the rusted rings and scored cylinder walls. Degreaser and a brush are used to scrub the empty block's grimy exterior. He meticulously scrapes away remnants of the old gasket from the engine block's surface. The block is thoroughly scrubbed, removing the last traces of dirt and rust. He surveys the massive collection of cleaned and uncleaned parts spread across his bench. The delicate piston rings are cleaned in a solvent bath to restore their function. He carefully compresses the new rings onto the pistons, ensuring a tight seal. A strip of sandpaper is used to polish the crankshaft journals to a mirror finish. Turning to the cylinder head, he begins scraping away the stubborn, baked-on carbon deposits. Continues cleaning the head, preparing the valve seats for a perfect seal. The completely seized starter motor is unbolted and dismantled for a full rebuild. Inside the starter, he scrubs away the thick corrosion covering the copper windings. Wire wheel on a bench grinder polishes the starter's aluminum housing to a shine. He repacks the clean starter housing with fresh grease to ensure smooth operation. New insulation is added to the starter's electrical connections before final reassembly. Hooked to a battery, the refurbished starter motor spins to life with renewed vigor. The intricate diesel injection pump receives a thorough scrubbing in the parts washer. He carefully reassembles the fuel pump, a critical component for the engine's heartbeat. The engine's valve springs are polished on the wire wheel, removing years of rust. He uses an angle grinder to strip away the rust from the heavy flywheel. The rusted exhaust manifold is also ground down to bare metal, ready for paint. Every restored component is neatly laid out, a testament to his painstaking labor. He lowers the polished crankshaft back into the block, seating the main bearings. A torque wrench ensures each bearing cap is tightened to the exact specification. The bearing caps are secured, locking the rotating assembly perfectly in place. He aligns the timing gears, synchronizing the engine's internal mechanical rhythm precisely. The new head gasket is laid down, preparing for the cylinder head installation. He carefully adjusts the valve clearances, fine-tuning the engine's critical breathing cycle. The heavy flywheel is bolted securely to the rear of the rebuilt engine block. The restored oil filter housing and exhaust manifold are bolted onto the fresh engine. High-pressure fuel lines are connected to the injectors, priming the system for combustion. He connects coolant hoses, finishing the final preparations before the engine's first test. With a turn of the key, the engine cranks and thick smoke billows out. The diesel engine idles smoothly, roaring back to life after years of decay. The spinning belts and pulleys confirm the mechanical resurrection is a complete success. He turns his attention to a heavily corroded turbocharger salvaged from the scrap heap. He carefully separates the rusted turbo housing, exposing the seized turbine blades inside. Rotary tool and wire brush are used to polish the turbo's internal passages. He reassembles the clean turbocharger, restoring its ability to force air into the engine. The turbocharged engine runs again, its powerful exhaust note echoing through the workshop. The completed power plant stands ready, waiting to be installed in the custom vessel. The damaged fiberglass hull sits in the yard, its massive side tear clearly visible. He strips off the old, rotting rubber bumper to assess the deck's structural integrity. Using a chain hoist, he lifts the entire upper deck off the lower hull. An angle grinder smooths out the fractured fiberglass around the hull's massive hole. The heavy diesel engine is carefully maneuvered toward the prepped fiberglass hull. Using the hoist, he lowers the massive engine into its new maritime home. He cuts a thick steel pipe to fabricate the custom propeller shaft housing. Sparks fly as he cuts up an old steel frame to build the engine mounts. Wooden stringers are bolted to the hull floor to support the heavy engine's weight. The engine is lowered onto the newly fabricated steel mounts, securing it in place. A custom steel plate is drilled and fitted to reinforce the boat's weakened transom. He cuts and shapes a steel plate to serve as the vessel's custom rudder. The rudder blade is welded directly onto the newly fabricated propeller shaft assembly. He securely bolts the polished stainless steel propeller onto the finished drive shaft. The custom drive unit is now fully assembled and mounted to the boat's transom. A salvaged automotive brake rotor is cleverly adapted to serve as the steering pulley. The car's salvaged steering column is welded into the boat's fiberglass cockpit. Stainless steel cables connect the steering wheel to the rudder mechanism at the back. He tests the cable steering, watching the rudder pivot smoothly with each turn. Hoses are connected to the water pump, establishing the engine's essential cooling system. He begins bending and welding aluminum tubing to construct the cabin's roof framework. The sleek, angular aluminum frame takes shape over the vessel's open cockpit area. He welds the final structural supports, ensuring the canopy frame is rigid and strong. The custom cabin frame gives the boat a surprisingly modern and aerodynamic profile. Sparks shower down as he finishes the last welds on the aluminum roof structure. He measures and cuts flexible white paneling to cover the angular cabin framework. Screws secure the white panels to the frame, forming the solid roof structure. The enclosed cabin provides a sleek, futuristic look to the once ruined fiberglass hull. He precisely cuts aggressive air intake vents into the side panels of the cabin. The vents are fitted, ensuring the powerful diesel engine receives plenty of airflow. The angular bodywork transforms the salvaged boat into a stealthy, custom-built yacht. Fiberglass mat and resin are applied to permanently seal and strengthen the new roof. He grinds the seam smooth, perfectly blending the new cabin into the old hull. He meticulously applies fiberglass and resin, solidifying the sleek shape of the newly formed boat. Hand sanding the hardened fiberglass, he removes imperfections to prepare a flawless foundation for the paint. Carefully applying filler around the intake vents, he sharpens the stealthy lines of the superstructure. The relentless buzz of his grinder refines the roofline, perfecting the vessel's aggressive, futuristic silhouette. He devotes countless hours to hand sanding the hull, ensuring a completely seamless exterior finish. Even as dusk approaches, he tirelessly grinds away rough edges on the custom bow design. Looking deep into the night, he shapes the roofline under the shop's bright floodlights. His dedication remains unwavering as he fine-tunes the bodywork, smoothing every subtle contour by hand. He applies additional compound around the vents, striving for absolute symmetry and aerodynamic perfection. A sudden downpour washes the hull, testing the integrity of his custom fiberglass craftsmanship. Once the storm passes, he meticulously wet sands the broad foredeck to a glass-like smoothness. He cuts a precise circular exhaust port, preparing a pathway for the engine's powerful breath. Sprays a fresh coat of primer, finally unifying the chaotic patchwork of custom fiberglass. The pristine white coating transforms the salvage wreckage into a sophisticated, stealthy watercraft. Moving inside, he measures and cuts durable rubber flooring to line the newly customized cockpit. He carefully installs the textured matting, adding both reliable grip and a refined interior finish. He secures protective aluminum trim along the roof edge, using rivets for rugged, lasting durability. He fits tinted glass into the angular windows, enhancing the yacht's sleek and mysterious profile. He engineers a robust mechanical linkage, proving his ingenuity extends beyond just shaping fiberglass bodywork. Peeling the protective film reveals a flawless windshield, perfectly angled to deflect high-speed winds. Reclaimed leather seats are securely installed, providing unexpected luxury within the stealthy, custom-built cabin. With the build finally complete, friends gather to push the heavy vessel toward the water. The gleaming white hull slips into the river, a triumphant launch for the homemade yacht. Floating proudly by the dock, its radical angular design sharply contrasts with the natural surroundings. The builder approaches his finished masterpiece, eager to finally test the culmination of his labor. He takes the helm, engaging the salvaged engine as the vessel smoothly leaves the shore. The powerful diesel engine roars to life, propelling the sleek craft rapidly down the river. Seen from above, the yacht cuts through the murky water with incredible speed and precision. It leaves a massive white wake behind, proving the impressive performance of this scrapyard resurrection. Bystanders watch in awe as the futuristic vessel glides effortlessly past the quiet rural riverbanks. The aerodynamic hull design minimizes drag, allowing the craft to practically fly over the surface. He confidently navigates the narrow channels, demonstrating the boat's superb handling and undeniable structural integrity. The striking white silhouette creates a breathtaking sight against the lush green landscape. Cruising majestically, the homemade yacht embodies the sheer power of determination and brilliant DIY engineering. Approaching a narrow bridge, the pilot maintains